everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
In today's podcast, we're covering the final 2 seasons of Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego. In these seasons, Carmen and her team are out to stop V.I.L.E. and their plans once and for all, while also attempting to find Carmen's long-lost mother.
But before we get to that, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Yes.
Now, for these last 2 seasons, while they were great, it has a sort of bittersweet ending to it without revealing too much. It felt like it was cut due to some controversy outside of the show with one of the voice actors. It feels like the writers kind of cut a lot of story out. Mm-hmm. Seasons 3 and 4 were very, very short. And it felt like season 3 was supposed to be about finding Carmen's mother. Season 4 was about stopping V.I.L.E. for good, because they even get to a point where they have Carmen like the original one, minus emotion or empathy. Mm-hmm. And it was really good, but both of these arcs are cut really short. Mm-hmm. And when you're getting really into it, the arcs are over before they even get started. So It seems like they had to cut for time and just end the show quickly because they didn't get to tell the entire thing. But you can tell this was meant to be longer.
And I would have loved to see the full stories, as you mentioned. They only devote 2 episodes to emotionless Carmen, we'll call her.
Right.
And you can tell, as you mentioned, that it should have been way longer.
Yeah.
It wasn't long enough. And then you're gypped on the mom arc also, which we won't spoil that.
Right.
But yeah, you can tell that this should have been at least another 5 to 6 episodes for this season.
Right. And both seasons supposed to have a theme. The first theme was finding the mom, and there was a theme that's supposed to be out the same time for Halloween, is that they had the theme of masks. Each country they went to had a certain masquerade holiday theme to it. Like they have to Dia de los Muertos, and different countries that had masks as a celebration of something. Even London had one. Mm-hmm. So I felt like you're trying to see who was behind the mask, I guess. And then the 4th season was, stopping V.I.L.E., but also really going back, using the roots of the original Carmen Sandiego and using it as, what if she really was the villain? She's not all bad in the original, but in here it's like they took that and had it where, okay, what if that part was gone, period? Because it was sort of like a reversal with this reboot. So they really tried to keep true to that and still keep it interesting.
They also took the opportunity to add a little more backstory for her 2 helpers, I'll call them, because that's what they are.
Right.
And the twins. And for her sensei.
Yes.
And for, what's the guy's name that really likes her?
They call him Crackle.
Yeah, and Crackle. But it wasn't, there weren't episodes devoted, but there was just information that was scattered here and there that told you more about each character. Kind of let you know, where they really stand in terms of if they're loyal to V.I.L.E. or if they're really like Carmen and they are defying V.I.L.E. and want to do something about it.
Right. And a lot of characters actually get development in here from, the heroes and the villains. And you find out some of the, 1 or 2 of the villains aren't as bad as you see them to be at first, and you see they actually do turn good towards the end.
And then you see some villains are actually bad.
Right. So it's kind
worse than you thought.
Right. So they kind of keep it even. They keep it even. And they tried, another thing that got cut is that they tried to give more focus to Player, because Player wasn't representing a human, he was just himself.
And he got his own episode.
Right. So there's supposed to be this thing where he had to go to public school and he had to be far away. He couldn't be on the computer all hours of the day because you think his parents would be looking boy before them like, what are you doing in there?
Right.
But then he just got there, and then now he was the reliant one to do the coding, the information, and everything. And because he was gone, it was more difficult for them.
Which didn't last long.
Right.
It was hilarious. It was like,
yeah.
Oh no, that's over.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 episodes, and then it was done. And they even tried to build where he and Carmen finally met face to face, and it felt like there was still more to be there, and they had to cut down everything.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot of stuff that would have had more impact if it hadn't been for them having to reduce it and cut it short.
Right. And you don't know if it was Netflix that, made the demand that it be shortened like they did
Right.
with Voltron,
Mhm.
or if it's something that the producers themselves decide to do, or the writers.
Mhm.
But we really wish that it had been, I keep saying as you said because you did say these things already, and I'm reiterating them, it'd been more fleshed out, it'd been expanded. We've seen what they really had originally planned to do with these arcs and these stories. Then we could feel more fulfilled and feel like this show really got an ending, because you're kind of left wanting, after the last 2 episodes,
Still
you just
more.
feel like, you really denied us a proper ending. We know this isn't what you planned.
Right.
It's obvious
you can tell.
that this isn't what they planned.
And it's not like, oh, this is what we got, screw it.
Right.
They just had to deal with what they had or what they were told to do, and they did the best they could with what they got.
Right.
And there was also development for the detective and with Acme. And he was no longer seeing Carmen as the villain. He finally got that she was the good guy in all this. And he started trusting his partner more, and he got more development. He wasn't much as an idiot.
And they were put back together.
Right.
Remember, they were separated.
Right.
She was doing
one thing,
indoor work, or inside work, and then they got put back together and put out in the field.
Right. And the relationship was much better. He wasn't as hard-headed as he was in the first 2 seasons.
Faster.
Yeah. And he was in more control. He really was trying to help, and he got way much more development, because it was kind of seeming like they were saying one thing about their dynamic, which would have been a little stereotypical, but when it got further in and more development, it turned out to thankfully not be like that, and it was actually great character growth.
Right.
And you get to, you said, for season 4. Season 3, we kind of touched on a little bit, because, like I said, there's a theme of wearing a mask every episode and celebrating a holiday.
We don't want to give too many spoilers.
Right.
Because there are so few episodes to enjoy, we don't want to ruin the experience.
Exactly. So, yes, season 3 is about them finding the mom. And then season 4, which should have been longer, was about stopping violence once and for all. You got a bit of a mini backstory, which felt like that was supposed to be slightly longer, about how V.I.L.E started and why they're so big and secretive as they are now. And
you also got more background on the brainwashing technique that they use.
Right, and how
it's pretty intense and detailed.
Right. And you could tell when they do that part of the arc, they constantly skip forward weeks and months. So this was supposed to be a long-standing arc. But because of what the controversy, they had to cut it down, so they kind of jumped to important bits, and then that was it. So it kind of left you feeling, well, you really enjoyed when it got to the last 2 episodes and how intense it got, because it was just like the adrenaline rush.
And you would have loved to have seen more episodes for that.
And and it felt like it should have been way more. And it looks like it could have been more. Plus, they were even giving way more emphasis on tributing the original series. There are times in there where they're playing the original theme song on a violin, and they call it Carmen. There is a song called Carmen, but they call it that one too. And he was in there, oh, they're playing my song, and they actually play it a few times in there. They do the tributes by having her slightly designed more like the original, and having the half face cover, the earrings.
And there's one shot that she looks exactly like the original Carmen. We're like, wait a minute, what happened?
Right. And she even keeps, despite having no empathy, they even keep him where she has these quips and constantly having the sarcasm, snarky lines to everybody. Instead of saying the player, she's just saying them to everyone else. So they really kept as much as possible.
So if you have not seen the last 2 seasons of Carmen Sandiego, go to Netflix now and watch them. You will thoroughly enjoy them. And if you've already seen the entire series, including these last 2 seasons, of course, let us know what you think in the comments below.
And be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and more to pause videos.
And I still would have loved to have heard Rita Moreno as her mom.
Yes, we missed it.
I read online that she already had a bit part, but it wasn't big enough. She should have had a much more obvious presence to us.
Yes, we were hoping that she would be the voice of the mom in a similar fashion with Thundercats. They have the original voice the father of the new one. We thought they were going to do the same thing with this one.
But
this would have been awesome. So, I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you want to do? Well, man, it's on you. in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form of a rocket.